I'm a setting sun, but I'll never run. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I will stay and fight as long as I'm alive. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. Hands at my door. I'm a shadow of the man I was before. I'm a dead man walking. Before I die, I'll take every soul I can into the night and kill till I die.
Good evening everybody and welcome to the Sim Experience SA Porsche Classic Cups, proudly sponsored by Alwyn Glass. You're here for the final round of the 5-round series of the All Local Track South African Challenge. So it's sadly coming to an end, but we're now at the modern day version of Kyalami, which is currently owned by Porsche South Africa and has been revamped. Our series started off with a classic Kyalami, which some of our drivers have actually been fortunate enough to race on. But here we are, so let's have a look at our introduction. So as you can see, it is the modern day Kyalami. It's a 4.1 kilometers circuit. Our race will be 30 minutes long. I am your commentator Dennis Mitchell and your broadcast director is Skinny Media. So we're in qualifying. There's just over 16 minutes left to go. We're on board with Sean Oliver, who's got the fastest first sector. Looking good. Let's see if we can get a good middle sector. I see we have a yellow in the first sector. Drifting the car nicely there. Sean does love drifting these cars. Also fastest middle sector. Really pushing the limits all over the track. Looks beautiful. And he gets the fastest time of 1 minute 58.089. But Monet Deploy is going to most likely topple him. And does indeed with a whopping 156.848. Bjorn Buchner managing to do a 2-minute flat. Stephen Castellan on for a good lap. Personal best in Sector 1. But 6/10 off Monet in Sector 1. Stephen Castellan was capable of doing a very good lap, so let's see if he can do it and maybe hang on to Monet for the victory. We've yet to see what Timo Smit is up to. Of course, Timo Smit is our current championship leader. He's only raced in 3 of the races, but he's won every single race that he's attended. So he's attending this race. Can he keep up his perfect score? Monet getting it nice and sideways as well. These are fantastic cars to drive. Perhaps not the easiest cars to race because of the nature of how they're moving around and sliding all the time. But yeah, fantastic cars just to push them around the track. Let's see if Monet's... Monet's time rather off the pace there. 1.5 off in Sector 1 and a second off in Sector 2, so possibly just taking a cool down lap. So Stephen Castellan has managed to stick it in second place at the moment with a 157.3. He's improving on his first sector, still 2/10 down, but that's a personal best. So possibly he can make it up elsewhere. Fastest middle sector, and that is a very good middle sector. 0.5 under there. Let's see how good the final sector is. This should be good for pole. Ooh, nice slide on the exit. Managing to keep it all in line. And he does indeed, a 56.2. That's a great time. That's a great time. 6/10 faster than Monet. So can Monet challenge now? And now Monet is now set the fastest first sector. And hello to everyone in our YouTube. Hello to Yvonne, Mika, Hacksaw is myself, and Phil Benoit. Is it Benoit? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. So hello to you as well and welcome. We also have some new drivers with us tonight. Well, one new driver with us tonight, and that's Sean. I'm not too sure how to pronounce his surname. Kogel or Kochel. Not sure if it's English, Afrikaans, or any other language. So welcome, Sean. I believe Sean has raced with us in other events, but not in R Factor. Stephen really pushing the car. Stephen's another one of the drivers that does seem to enjoy getting these cars all sideways, but of course that's the best way to drive them. It certainly puts the biggest smile on your face. It's just sometimes not the fastest way, although on some instances it is the fastest way. Like there, the way Stephen's pushing it there, it's allowing the car to rotate more, and you can actually carry a bit more speed as long as you don't push it too far. Stephen throwing the car around almost like a drift car from one side to the other. He had a slow first sector, but the fastest middle sector. So let's see how it all pans out. Well, it didn't go any fast. He was about 2/10 slower than his personal best, which would have still been pole position. Oh, Ross coming in sideways there, holding it nicely on the brakes. It's almost like the guys on the superbikes do when they have the compression of the engine bringing the back end around under braking. That's pretty much what these cars drive like. It's fantastic to watch. I saw Mika was in the comments, so hello again, Mika. And I also saw Mika was on the server earlier on, just wondering how come you're not driving. You should be joining us. Throw the car around a bit and have some fun. Perhaps you'll join us when we jump to the Formula cars. Oh, slightly loose there. We're going to be doing a Formula 1 series in R Factor fairly soon, and we've got a Formula 4 series coming up in January. Those cars should be fantastic fun, and very close racing's going to be on the cards, I'm sure. That'll be the British series. It'll all be British tracks. Very, very nice tracks to be racing the Formula 4 on. So Stephen's lap is a tenth and a bit down in Sector 1 and almost 2/10 down in Sector 2. Deciding to get some fresh tyres perhaps. Right, so Ross has managed to sneak it up into third while we've been watching Stephen. Ross also throwing the car sideways a lot. We're still waiting to see a lap from Timo Smit. He has put in a fairly decent first sector. Not the fastest, but pretty good. Another driver that's done a pretty good first sector is Willem Steyn. Seems to be doing very well in R Factor and getting a good feel for it. His middle sector wasn't the best, but his first and his last sector was very good. Now Monet's on for a good lap. Oh, running slightly off there. Now track limits don't penalise you there because you're taking a longer route. But I'm pretty sure he would have lost a little bit there, so he's probably lost maybe a tenth there. And we have a yellow in Sector 1. Thankfully for Monet, he's in Sector 2 at the moment. Oh, there goes Mario. I guess that is the cause of the yellow flag. I see Mario's driving in Monet's car tonight. I don't think Monet will be too happy with how he's looked after it. Not sure why we're seeing the replay twice in a row, but anyway. Right, now we're on board with Monet. Wow, a 3 second up in the first sector, but then 3 seconds down in the second. How's his time going to be? Let's see. Does manage to improve. Wow, a 55.9. So, laying down the gauntlet. And Sean Olivier is in 4th, and Timo Smit is now up to 5th. Timo, one of our drivers that doesn't get much time to practice, so he tends to just sort of jump in and drive. So, learning very quickly. Oh, Sean losing it on the grass. It's probably going to be a end of that bonnet. Here we have Timo Smit. Very, very slow first sector, so I presume that was an outlap. So about 5 minutes left of qualifying. Who's going to challenge Monet for the pole position? Of course, when you get a pole position, you get an extra point as well. So the drivers that manage to get a pole get an extra point, and the drivers that get the fastest lap in the race also get an extra point. And speaking of points, let's have a look at our current season standings. So at the moment, the championship sits Timo Smit on 141 points, from Sean Olivier on 125, from Monet Deploy on 119, Stephen Castellan on 117, unfortunately having a bad race previous round. Sean Olivier on 125, there's obviously a error there. Bjorn Buchner 93, Sean Weber 87, Ross Human 76, Morris van Wyk 45, and Willem Steyn on 35. Unfortunately, the standings only show the top 10, so that's all we can see. Background, see the cars are sliding nicely there. I think that's Sean Olivier tracking it sideways. Ross Human behind him also getting all out of shape. Right, Sean on for an improvement here. One of the new drivers, will probably take a while to get the hang of it, but perhaps in the race he can tag on to the back of the other guys and figure it all out a little bit quicker. This is certainly not the easiest car to start off in R-Factor 2 with. Although it's great fun, it's not the easiest. You need to be very active in the cockpit here to keep the car facing in the right direction. Very active with the pedals, very active with the steering. So can Stephen improve? He's on a personal best sector 1. But he's slower in sector 2. Still get another lap, possibly a second lap in if he crosses the line quick enough. It's going to be touch and go. Okay, so he won't get a second lap, but he'll get one more flying lap. As will Ross and Sean behind. Sean sitting nicely behind Ross. Not sure if that's going to impede him or not. Though at the moment Sean is slightly slower than Ross on the timing boards. Timo is also starting to improve as he's getting his laps in, getting more familiar with the car on the track. Personal best in sector 1, 0.4 off. Stephen Castellan now on for a good lap, only 0.065 off in sector 1. So is he going to give us the surprise pole position? He does have the fastest last sector, so he's good in the fast sector. Let's see, can he get the middle sector good? Sector 1 seems to have been his Achilles heel, and then he seems to have now nailed it. So let's see, can he also get a 155? He's up in sector 2 as well with the fastest sector of all. So it's looking good at the moment. Corner to go. Using all the track nicely, getting it nice and sideways in, turning the car nice. Lost a little bit there. Oh, I lost it. What a shame. Final corner. It's definitely on for a good lap there. Ross getting it sideways and managing to hang on to it. Right, so it looks like Monet has managed to hang on to that pole position. The late charge from Stephen wasn't capable of pinching it from him. So it will be Monet deploy from Stephen Castellan. So these are the qualifying results. Monet deploy from Stephen Castellan, from Ross Human, from Timo Smit, from Sean Olivier, Willem Steyn, a great lap from Willem Steyn. Bjorn Buchner in 7th, Mario Claessens in 8th, Sean Kogel in 9th, and Andre Hildebrandt in 10th. Alright, we're going to jump to an ad break. We will be back with you once they're on the grid, so we'll catch you shortly. Alright, and everyone is now out on their warm-up lap. So while everyone is warming up their tyres, let's take a look at the starting order. So of course in pole position we have Monet Duploy, in second place Stephen Castellan, in third place Ross Human, and in fourth place our championship leader, Timo Smit. In 5th place we have Sean Olivier. In 6th place we have Willem Steyn. In 7th place we have Bjorn Buchner. And in 8th place we have Andre Hildebrandt. And in 9th place we have Mario Claessens. Unfortunately we have also lost Sean Kirchhoff, who has now tried to rejoin, but unfortunately with R Factor you can't join an open session. So sadly that's it, it's an unfortunate bug in the game. Right, let's see. Cold tyres could be interesting. First 2 laps in these cars is always the hardest, as the guys have to warm up their tyres. Once the tyres are warm, then the car is relatively easier to drive, but the word easy doesn't usually mix with this car. Right, so here we come. Drivers line up in the grid. They need to be aware to get their markers just right, otherwise they will get a penalty. Right, I'm sure their hearts are in their mouths at the moment. Right, as they're watching the lights, 5 seconds to go. Right, and it's go. Go, 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 as the R Factor man would usually say. Steven and Monet side by side. Steven has the edge, but he's got on the outside line. Can he make it stick? They're still side by side. I think he's going to have to back off, and he has. Now he has Ross up the inside of him. Sure, that's not what he was expecting. Ross looking for a strong finish to the season. Ross has been getting stronger and stronger in these cars. Steven challenging Ross now. Sean Olivier sitting right behind them as well. Pushing a little bit there, swapping paint. Of course, rubbing is racing. Slotting in nicely there is Ross between Steven and Sean. So, looks like Monet is making the break. Steven needs to get his head down if he wants to keep up. Monet has had the edge in qualifying, but that doesn't mean that's how the race will go. It's all about consistency in the race. It's a 30-minute race, so anything can happen. As we've seen with Ross, who we're on board with now, he tends to wear his tyres out, and towards the end everything happens. So they just need to hang in there, pace themselves, look after the car. Ross really getting it sideways into the corner. So we have a yellow flag in sector 3, and Timo spinning there. Managing to at least keep it out of the wall. Ross all over the back end of Steven now. Not sure if that's going to put Steven off or not. It's definitely not what Steven needs. He needs to be getting after Monet as quick as he can. yeah, they have to feather the throttle there. Definitely not a car you can just stand on the throttle and keep it in shape. So Ross 0.3 behind, or sorry, 0.3 slower. Looks like Steven is managing to pull the gap slowly. Oh dear. It looked like Timo collecting, not sure if that was Andre Hildebrandt. I believe it might have been Andre Hildebrandt, and unfortunately Timo nowhere to go. Timo has to be careful here with Steven out in front. If Timo has a bad result, that could be the championship. I mean, Timo's ahead at the moment, but what are the points? We have a 47 points for victory. And at the moment, if Steven or Sean or Monet are to win, they could definitely steal the championship. So Timo needs to be careful with his points at the moment. At the moment he's currently last. So anything could happen. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. So all is still to grab. Let's try our in-race season standings and see if that manages to help us. Never tried this, so let's see if it even works. And that's just showing the current points, it's not showing the updated points, so unfortunately that doesn't work. Oh wow, Ross looking for a gap and unfortunately losing it. Hopefully the car is not too badly damaged and you can still claw back some time. Nice battle here. Sean Olivier, Willem Steyn and Bjorn Buchner. Willem's starting to get the hang of R-Factor quite well. And these cars as well. At some of the rounds he struggled with them, but he seems to be getting on top of them. Possibly a commentator's curse there. Spoke too soon. But yeah, good to see that he's improving. Slightly wide now. Fortunately losing the place to Bjorn Buchner. So has he got the pace to come back and make an attack again, gain back that place? Getting it all sideways there. Looks spectacular though. Steven managing to still hang on to Monet. Gap is 1.6. Keep an eye on that gap and see if he's able to at least close it as the race progresses. It's almost a third of the way into the race. Well, we're nearing a third mark. He seems to have hung in there nicely, so he's got good race pace. I know at the previous round Monet was also extremely fast in qualifying but didn't have the race pace he expected. Even almost losing it there. He's obviously trying extremely hard. Yeah, Monet unfortunately didn't have the race pace at the previous round and was beaten by Timo Smith there. Quite surprising that Timo Smith is not having the strongest result at the moment. Currently sitting in 9th position. The championship really has come down to the wire, and surprisingly Timo having a bad result, it means the two out front are literally fighting for the championship. Might not be aware of it yet, but this victory could be the difference between finishing first or second in the championship. I believe there's a 5-point difference between first and second. No, first is 47 points and I think second is 45. But then there's also the extra point for fastest lap, which currently sits with Monet Deploy, the 156.054. So if Monet were to win, he would be getting 48 points right now. 49 points, because he also has the point from qualifying. So he's definitely in contention for the championship. As we have our banner flying along the top from Alban Glass. Big thanks again to Alban Glass for sponsoring us, making all of this possible. We wouldn't be able to do it without all the drivers and without our sponsors giving us the means to continue. So if you require any automotive glass of any sorts, then look up Alban Glass or alban.co.za. I'm sure they'll have the glass that will perfectly suit your needs. Unfortunately, we were hoping to have a support race after this with the MX-5s, but for some reason the MX-5s, we're having a problem with them. So we won't be having any support race tonight, but we definitely will have a championship in the Formula 4s starting in January. Details are on our Discord. So if you haven't joined yet, join our Discord, come join us. We'll be driving other sims as well in the future. We have plans to do various different sims throughout the week. So we'll be using Assetto Corsa, we'll be using R-Factor, we'll be using Automobilista 2, possibly Race Room as well. I'm not too sure of the others. I think the other was Assetto Corsa Competizione. Definitely a tongue twister. So those are probably our 5 choices that we are going to be exploring in the coming year. But for now we are with R-Factor till the end of the year and a little bit of Assetto Corsa perhaps, and possibly some test races with Automobilista 2. Automobilista 2 has also got some fantastic content. They now have the Polo Cup, or the Brazilian version of the Polo Cup. Unfortunately we only have Kyalami there, so we couldn't do a South African series, but we would like to have a look at that. That could be a good series relative to South Africa with the Polos. It's quite a slow car, but it'll be close racing. And talking about Automobilista 2, for anyone that doesn't know the history of this mod that we are using at the moment, this particular version of this track was created by a modder by the name of Prototype. He goes by the name of Prototype. I'm not sure if he wants me to release his real name online, so I won't. But he actually made the track for Automobilista. Him and his team created the track for Automobilista, and then in his spare time he created a track for Assetto Corsa, and that particular track he allowed someone to convert it to R-Factor. So he's been gracious enough to allow this track to join 3 of the top sims at the moment. And there goes Monet deploy sideways, so anything can happen, as we've said. But now Sean's not close enough to capitalize. And Monet, in the meantime, has managed to put in a 55.8. That would explain why he's getting so sideways. In the near future, we will have some more South African tracks by Prototype. Kyalami is currently on his radar. He's working on that, which of course is my granddad's track. My granddad was one of the founders of Kyalami, so that's a track that I'm very keen on and have raced there in real life as well. So I'm looking forward to that, and certainly the work that I've seen, it looks spectacular and extremely realistic. It gave me goosebumps when I first drove it. So the more South African tracks we have, the better. R-Factor has quite a few South African tracks, but it still doesn't have Kyalami or Red Star or any of the sort of lesser known tracks. Most cars looking a bit second hand. He has managed to at least pick off Mario for 8th place now. So that could be points very, very valuable for the championship. Quite a big gap, unfortunately, to the next position, so he's not likely to progress any further, although anything could happen. But yeah, the points are going to be extremely close come the end. Steven is now 1.9 behind Monet. He was 1.6 earlier, but Monet has just run wide there. So what is the gap now? I imagine he's lost a couple of tenths by running wide there. Would have affected him all the way up the straight here. It looks like Steven's close to probably a second now. The timing there is saying 1.7, and visually looks much closer, unless that's just not updated yet. So have a yellow flag in sector 3, not sure who that might be. So the pressure's on for Monet. He's now making mistakes. He should just keep focused, not look back, not focus on his mirrors, but focus on driving. When you focus on your mirrors, all things go wrong. So Timo Smit has indeed picked up another place. So the incident in Sector 3 was Andre Hildebrand by the looks of it. Because he was probably, I think, 40 seconds or 20 seconds or so ahead of Timo, and he's now behind. So I'm presuming that he ran off somewhere. So Timo could be very lucky and be picking off the places just enough to hang on to the championship. I have a yellow in sector 1. Who might that be? The sector times are lighting up everywhere. Monet's just done the fastest final sector, and Steven's just done his personal best in the final sector, only a 10th shy, or actually just under a 10th shy. So Steven's fighting hard here, almost 2/3 of the way into the race. So let's have a recap of the championship standings while we're here. We have a look at Andre Hildebrandt. Getting it nice and sideways as well. Okay, so let's see. So currently at the moment we have Timo on 141 points. Sean Olivier on 125. He seems to have faded in the race, so I think the biggest challenge will now come from Morne Deploy on 119. Stephen Castellan on 117. Sean Olivier on... not too sure on that, that's a bit of a mystery. Bjorn Buchner on 93, Sean Weber on 87, and Ross Human 76, Maurice van Veek 45, and Willem Steyn on 35. So all to change. So who will it be? Who will be our champion? Our very first R-Factor champion. Steven once again falling back, Morne pulling away slightly. Now officially into the final 10 minutes, the last third of the race. We have a yellow flag once again in Sector 3. So Ross Human still hanging in there for third position. Currently Sean Olivier in fourth, Bjorn Buchner in fifth, Willem Steyn in sixth, and Timo Smit in seventh. Andre Hildebrandt in 8th and Mario Claessens in 9th. While we're all doing this, I'm going to start preparing for the end of the race as well. Morne once again running wide there. He's really trying hard to, looks like, extend the gap, but he should maybe just back off just a little bit, just try and maintain the gap. Yet another Sector 3 yellow flag. I'm presuming that someone keeps just going slightly wide, and that's why it keeps triggering it, because we're not seeing any replays of accidents, so I presume it's something minor, just like a little bit of off-track excursions. But Steven's still hanging in there. Looks like the gap is pretty steady at the moment, and it was 1.9, it's now 1.6 once again. So Morne has to be careful with 7.5 minutes to go. If Steven is that close and Morne starts making more mistakes, Steven could well pinch the position, and that could cost Morne the championship. Livery that Willem Steyn's driving really looks fantastic. It's a martini, classic martini livery. Yeah, it sounds like someone's gone off. Yes, is that Monet or is that Mario? I presume it's Mario. He's just set the new fastest lap, 1:55.616. He's definitely trying. A fair bit faster as well than Stephen Castle, who Stephen's fastest lap is a 56.2, which was his last lap actually. So Stephen's also improving, just Monet is just managing to keep extending, just a tenth here and a tenth there. Monet yet to take a win in the series either, but he's showing all the pace throughout the series. Oh, Willem getting it nice in there. It's another sector 2 yellow flag. It's that stage of the race where concentration starts to go, the tyres are going, bad combination. Just a bit of a catch up on the YouTube channel. I see No Noodles saying a bit gutted not to be racing. I presume that is Sean. That wasn't able to race because he rejoined as the session had gone over to race, and unfortunately with R Factor, once it ticks over into race mode, you can't join a open session and race. It has its pros and its cons by doing that. Unfortunately, the biggest con is that you can't race, but the pro is it doesn't put other people off either, and once you're in, you're in. Willem, a personal best in sector 1. He's chasing down Bjorn. Willem wants a 5th place. That would be his best placing, I believe, of the series. Looks like Willem lost a bit of time in the middle sector, but he seems to have made it up again in the final sector. So his first and final sector looked like they were good. And indeed, it was his best lap of the race, a 1:58.9. Personal best first and third sector. It's a good lap by Willem. Lots of tyre smoke from the lock up there. Bjorn running slightly wide because of that. Probably the outside front that was locking there. Timo down in 7th place has done a personal best on the last lap of a 56.9, so his pace is coming. Unfortunately, he just had a bit of bad luck. And it looks like Mario has had a DNF. So I presume he's had an incident and that's the end of his car. We haven't seen the incident, but unfortunately it looks like he's not going to be able to continue. Stephen all over the back end of Monet now. That gap is very close at the moment, 0.7 of a second. So Stephen has slowly been chipping away, or Monet has maybe pushed a bit too hard and his tyres are starting to go, because Monet's last lap was a 1:57.3. That's about 1.5 to 1.8 seconds slower than his personal best, which was about 2 laps ago. Stephen, on the other hand, his previous lap was a 1:56.4, so almost a second faster. So, could there be a big twist to the end of the race here? The championship being on the line with Timo down in 7th, I think Timo might hang on to it. But if Monet were to get it with the fastest lap and pole position, get the win that is, he might have enough points to steal it from Timo. But Steven could very well steal it from Monet. Steven definitely wants this. He's trying hard. He's pushing the car everywhere he can. See, he's fighting. You can see how the steering is constantly fluctuating left and right as he's going through the corner. Willem having a look at Bjorn. Slight lock up. Could be the last lap, although I believe the leaders will be on to the next lap, so there should be another lap. Bjorn getting really wide there. Managing to keep it all together though. Sean Olivier right in their sights as well. That's the timer over. So I believe this will be it. Final lap move, is he going? Willem's going for it. It's contact. Oh, he spun around. That's a shame. Well, he had to go for it. It was the last corner. So do or die move. Unfortunately, it just didn't pay off, but at least he went for it. Ayrton Senna would have been proud. Ayrton Senna's words, if you see a gap and you don't go for it, you are no longer a racing driver. So, the final lap, Steven chasing down Monet for the win. Is Steven going to be close enough to go for a final move? It doesn't look like it. Unless Monet makes a mistake. It looked like he was almost going to there and just hung on to it. It's close, but unfortunately not close enough. I think Monet has done enough. Barring any incidents in the final corner. Steven's right on him now. That's a great finish at least. Monet flashing his lights there. Great victory for Monet. Great second place for Steven. I'm sure everyone will be proud. Proud of her son. Sadly, Steven could have won our championship if it wasn't for an incident in the final. Well, in the previous round, in the first lap, unfortunately, caught up in an incident there. But we're still figuring out a few bugs in the sim, which hopefully with the next series it should all be a bit better. Ross Human coming across in 3rd, Sean Olivier in 4th. Ron Buchner is in 5th. Looks like he's managed to keep Willem at bay. It seems like that last lap corner that Willem took didn't actually count as their last lap. I guess they had to wait until the leader had crossed the line before it officially finalized the race. Timo in 7th. Almost losing it on the last lap, second last corner. Lost his front bumper long ago. Hanging it all sideways there. Andre 8th. Mario unfortunately a DNF. Alright, so our final results. Monet Deploy taking the victory, the fastest lap and the qualifying. So, grand total of 49 points. Steven Castellan 2nd, Ross Human 3rd, Sean Olivier 4th, Bjorn Buchner 5th, Willem Steyn 6th, Timo Smith 7th, Andre Hildebrand 9th, and Mario Claessens in 9th. Sorry, did I say Andre Hildebrand in 9th? Andre Hildebrand in 8th. Alright, so let's jump to a commercial and then I will go find some guys for the interviews. Alright, welcome back everyone. We are now joined in the commentary booth, hopefully with Monet Deploy, Ross Human, Stephen Castellan and Timo Smit. If you guys could just say hello so I can just check that your voices are working.
Hello, hello.
Right,
Hello.
I think we're good.
Hello.
Don't want to repeat last week. Alright, so let's start with Monet. First of all, Monet, great race there. You set the pace in qualifying and surprisingly didn't have the problems you had the last week with your race pace. So Stephen was catching you at the end, but you hung on to it. I'm going to try and check the championship now, but it's pretty close between yourself and Timo.
Yeah, first of all, nice, good race with Steven there. He really kept me on my toes. I was stressing out like literally the whole race, but near the end, the tires just went off a little bit and I made a couple of mistakes, but in the end, held it together. But again, wasn't a win by much. I think it was maybe like a second or so. But yeah, a better race than last week. But yeah, congrats to everyone.
Yeah, it was pretty fantastic to watch yourself having a good battle there, and of course some of the battles going further back as well. Willem also having a good race. But the surprise was also Timo. Timo, you seem to be struggling here. What happens? You usually sort of jump in and you get up to speed pretty quick. You look like you also had a few incidents in the race, but you qualified sort of fourth, I think it was. But how did everything go?
Yeah, I think I qualified fourth. Yeah, it's actually quite a tricky track, although I know it. It was quite slippery when I jumped in from the start, so I don't think I got my brake bias tuned in correctly. But anyway, that's not a problem. There was I had a lot of fun. And then yeah, at the back, I basically someone spun in front of me, and then I hit them, and then I had to pit. And then I got an additional 40 liters of fuel.
Yeah.
About 90 liters of fuel. So I try to keep it on the black stuff, and then I finish the race because I know it's just a lot of fun, these cars around any track actually. So I don't quit even if I'm lost. It's just a lot of fun. So well done to Mornay, Stephen and Ross on the podium.
That's good. I'll get to the championship results in a moment between yourself and Monet.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
So I'll keep the suspense there. And Stephen, well done as well on a great second place. That was a pretty hard fight there with Monet right till the end.
In the beginning, he was just walking away. I think like half a second to a second quicker. But then, a couple of slip-ups, and it seems like I got faster the worse the tires got.
It seemed like at the end, I saw Monet's lap time drop from a 55. He did his personal best, and then about 2 laps later, he did a 57, and you were then in the 56s, about a second of the lap faster, and at that point, you were catching, and Monet looked like he was struggling.
I think either the last or second last lap, I did a 55.9, which is my quickest time ever on the track. So
Yes.
It was, I think that was also just the focus of like, is he going to make a mistake? Let him make a mistake. I've got to be here if he does it, and he didn't.
And then also, Ross, over to you as well. Great races from your part. You seem to be up there at fighting with the top guys in the first few laps, and then you sort of faded slightly because of a slight mistake, and you couldn't seem to bring it back. How did your race go?
That is good. Kind of overcorrected, not wanting to hit Stephen going onto the main straight. I think I just overpushed the car a bit and was kind of hoping some of the back markers would tie him and Monet up. But it was a good race otherwise. Excellent fun.
Yeah, you seem to be having great fun there. All right, then let's get over to the championship and get rid of the suspense. So, Stephen, you're going into the previous round. You are our championship leader, and unfortunately had an incident, which happens in racing, and you at least kept up the fight, and you managed to claw back to third in the championship. So you've at least got a good solid third. So congratulations on that. And then the battle for first and second. Monet Deploy, you are our champion. Timo, unfortunately, you've lost it by 7 points.
That's close. Well done, Monet.
So that's that little slip up in the race, and with Monet having the fastest lap and getting the win and pole, that's made all the difference. So Monet, congratulations.
Thank you very much, and thanks to the guys for keeping it a nice tight championship. But it feels good to take the win, especially by 7 points.
It was close, right till the end, and of course, Stephen challenging really hard as well.
So I just have to say that's provisional, of course. My team just, they just said they're going to lodge
protest.
Complaint. There's some technical. I think it's something to do with the wing more nice.
Request a review.
Maybe had a different front wing or bumper on or something.
I'm just gonna give Toto Wolf a call.
Get some tips.
Down, boys.
All right, so of course that's the end of the championship. So in January we'll have the next championship, which will be the Formula 4 Championship, Formula 4 British Championship. So hopefully we'll see all you guys fighting there for the win as well. I'm sure that's going to be extremely close.
Sounds good.
All right, so I'm going to end it off there and say thank you again to everyone, and to Alwyn Glass for making all this possible, and all of you guys that have stuck it out till the end. Thank you very much, and it's much appreciated. It's awesome watching you guys fight these cars right till the end. So we will catch you all again at the next championship.
Thank you.
Which will be in
everyone
January.
and the sponsors. It was awesome.
All right,
Cheers.
thank you everyone, and we will catch you as soon as possible. Okay, cheers everyone.
a setting sun, but I'll never run. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I will stay and fight as long as I'm alive. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. Hell's at my door. I'm a shadow of the man I was before. I'm a dead man walking. Before I die, I'll take every soul I can into the night and kill till I die.